Hello, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the pH scale. Okay, so let's get started. In this video, we're going to talk about the importance of the pH, and we're going to answer a few key questions about the pH. Number one would be, what is the pH? Why should I understand the pH, and how does the pH affect chemical textured surfaces? The pH scale measures the acidity and alkalinity of a substance by measuring the quantity of the hydrogen ions it contains. So if you look at the scale below, there's some items there that we all at some time have used or have eaten. And we see where they fall on this pH scale. Okay, so let's see what the pH scale is all about. The pH scale has a range from 0 to 14. A pH of 7 is neutral. A pH below 7 is acidic, and the pH above 7 is alkaline. The natural pH of hair is 4.5 to 5.5. Chemical solutions raise the pH to an alkaline state. So the higher we go on the pH scale away from the hair's pH, the more damage we can do to the hair. So the hair slightly acidic pH helps to keep the cuticle smooth and flat, and it also contributes to the strength of the hair. So think about it. So if the hair's pH is 4.5 to 5.5, and we go to, let's say, 10 or 13 on the pH scale, then we have the potential to cause damage to the hair. So this is why we have to understand the importance of the pH and the products that we're using. Notice the pH level of relaxers. So if we look at this pH scale, we can look here and see lemon juice and vinegar falls at around a 2 and a 3. Hair and skin is at 5. And just a tip, if you go to State Board, you're going to see 5 and not 4.5 to 5.5 because it's just going to start with the average. So it'll be 5. Then you'll see pure rain is at a 5.6. Distilled water is at a 7 because remember we saw on the scale water is neutral. Then we have baking soda, which is at about an 8.2. Oxidizing hair color, which is at an 8.6, maybe 8.5, 8.6. And then we have perm solution and hair lighteners at about 9.5. And then we have ammonia, which is at 12. But look where hydroxide relaxers are. So hydroxide relaxers are at a 13.5, which means that they're very high on this pH scale, which means that it's more harsh. All right. So alkaline products, which are higher on the pH scale, can cause the cuticle scales to lift. That's what alkaline does. It opens up the cuticle, making the hair more prone to damage, tangling, and breakage. So, but when we go on the acidic side, so if we have products we're putting on the hair, and let's say they go down to like a 1 or a 2, even a 3, they are extremely acidic, and extremely acidic products can also be damaging as they could cause excessive tightening of the cuticle. So what that means, so let's think about the cuticle. Alkaline opens the cuticle. Acid closes the cuticle. Okay? So when you go down too far or too low on the acidic scale, what happens is it closes the cuticle so tight, which will make the hair stiff and dry, and it can even cause it to be brittle and also breakage. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with when we work with products on the hair. So we must understand the pH scale, the products we're working on, and the texture of hair. pH stands for potential hydrogen. pH refers to the measure of the acidity or alkalinity of a solution or a substance. So chemical solutions raise the pH of the hair to an alkaline state. All right, this will open the cuticle layer, so that the solution can reach the cortex. Now, in the cortex is where the restructuring takes place. So you can't get to the cortex without going through the cuticle. Okay, and you go through that cuticle, you put on a chemical on the hair. This chemical penetrates the cuticle, goes into the cortex, and now we have restructuring taking place inside the cortex. When solution is applied to the hair, the cuticle is raised so that the solution can penetrate into the cortex. All right, so if we look here and we look at the first strand of hair, and we see on one side the cuticle is smooth, but then when we used a acid chemical, now the cuticle is raised. But notice that it's only raised just a little, not a lot. All right, and this is why the acid would only give you a soft curl or a wave, because it doesn't open enough to penetrate far enough into the cortex. All right, and then if we look at the on the right hand side and we see where the cuticles are laying flat with smooth, look on the left hand side of that, on the right hand side of that, and you'll see that these cuticle layers are open more. The cuticle is opened a lot more, which allows for the chemical to penetrate into the cortex a lot more. Okay, so one thing that you need to understand is that the acid chemical, acid causes the hair to contract. All right, and what happens is it can contract. If we use too low of acid, it'll make it contract so tight that it will cause breakage in the hair. All right, and then alkaline expands, opens. It opens the cuticle. So the acid closes the cuticle, and the alkaline opens the cuticle. Okay, and just remember, too far either way on the acid scale can cause damage. pH is an important factor in many chemical processes, including those used in hair and beauty treatments like perming, relaxing, and coloring. So the lower we go on the pH scale, the stronger the acidity is. And the higher we go on the pH scale, the stronger the alkalinity is. Okay, so we have two sides of the scale. So if we go from 1 to 6, that's acid, right? And then from 8 to 14, that is alkalinity. So the further we go on the alkalinity side is going to be more harsh. The lower we go on the acid side, the more harsh. Okay? And chemical texture services for hair, such as perming and relaxing, the pH of the product used is important for several reasons. So, the pH of the product can affect the speed of the chemical reaction on the hair. So, different textures may have a different response to the changes of the pH. So, and that's why it's important that we understand the texture of the hair. All right, because this can all affect the outcome of the hair of the service. All textures require different strengths of products. So fine hair will require a milder formula and a shorter processing time than somebody with coarse hair, because they would require a longer processing time and a stronger product, more alkaline. Okay, so in this photo here, I have different textures of hair. And one reason why I chose this photo is because sometimes we can look at someone's hair and they could have a lot of hair, and we automatically say, oh my God, they're going to need a super because the hair looks so thick. It looks, but that is not the case. Sometimes you could look at a person's hair and they have thin hair. It could be fine, but they just have a lot of it. Or you could look at someone that has coarse hair, but not that much of it. Okay, so you have to be careful when you go to apply a product because you just looked at it. You need to do a strand test so you can determine what strength is needed for that client's hair. All right, we must understand the different textures as well as the pH and the products that we're using. Curl and texture. In perming processes, the pH of the solution can influence the type and strength of the curl achieved. More alkaline solutions tend to produce a stronger curl, while more acidic solutions result in softer curls. So if we look at the picture here, we'll see in the first picture that the girl has a more tighter curl, and this was done with alkaline. And then we see that in the second picture, the girl has a softer, slight wavy type effect, okay? And that was done with acid. And the reason why the girl in the second picture does not have a tighter curl is because with acid, remember, as we saw in a couple screens back, that the cuticle opens just a little bit. All right, so it opens up just a little bit so that it can penetrate into the cortex. But with the alkaline, the cuticle opened up a lot more and it was able to penetrate more into the cortex. So remember, coarse resistant hair with a strong compact cuticle, meaning that it's closed tight, meaning you need a higher alkaline solution to penetrate that cuticle. All right. And then we would use something like acid for porous or damaged hair or chemically treated hair or a person with fine hair. Okay. So in this photo here, I have a relaxer where the hair was coiled, tightly coiled, and then we used a relaxer to straighten the hair out to make it smooth. All right. And then we have a permanent wave where the hair was rolled on rollers and the hair is curled. All right. So a permanent wave is around 9.6 on the pH scale. So it's important to understand the pH and the different strengths of the chemical because, example, if you use a super on a person with very fine hair, and sometimes even a regular on very fine hair, you could cause damage or breakage to the hair, all right, or extreme dryness, all right. So we want to make sure that we understand our products along with our pH scale, all right, and the texture of hair. Hair damage. Extremely high or low pH levels can cause damage to the hair structure. Highly alkaline solutions can lead to excessive swelling of the hair's cuticle, making it more susceptible to breakage. On the other hand, highly acidic solutions can weaken the hair structure, leading to brittleness. All right, and I've given you 3 examples here of hair that has been damaged. Okay, so we've learned about the pH scale in this video. I hope you guys were able to follow and understand, and I hope that you got a better understanding. Now, what I do want you to understand is that hair care products are often formulated to to come close to our natural pH of our hair, all right, which is 4.5 to 5.5. All right. And the purpose of this is to help maintain the integrity of the cuticle without excessively opening it or excessively closing it. All right. So remember, on the pH scale, the lower on the acid side, the more harsh the product is going to be, and we have the potential to cause damage. And then the higher on the alkaline side, the more harsh the product is going to be and the more potential that we can cause damage. All right. So following this screen is some Q&A to help you reinforce what you've learned here today. Please like and subscribe to the video, hit the notification so that you can be the first to get the video when I upload them. If you need to reach out to me other than here, you can reach me at strictlyeducation@gmail.com and I will get back to you.